Hey y'all, and welcome to a little dose of boho design inspiration. If you're anything like me, you're drawn to spaces that feel collected over time, full of warmth, natural textures, and those little touches of personality that make a house a home. That's the beauty of boho style. It's all about embracing the unique, the vintage, and the eclectic to create a space that truly reflects. Now, when I think boho, I picture cozy evenings by the fireplace, sunlight streaming through the windows, and a cup of tea in hand. It's all about creating a sense of peace and comfort, a retreat from the everyday hustle and bustle. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Whether you're starting from scratch or just want to add a touch of boho charm to your existing living room, I'm excited to share some of my favorite tips and tricks with y'all. So, let's gather up those paint swatches, get ready to browse those vintage shops, and let's transform your living room into a boho haven. Alright, let's start with the foundation of any good design, the color palette. Now, boho style is all about embracing those warm, earthy tones that make a space feel grounded and inviting. Think about those sun-drenched desert landscapes or the rich hues of a vintage Moroccan rug. Those are the colors that will really set the tone for your boho living room. We're talking about warm terracottas, those soft, comforting beiges, deep grounding greens, a touch of sunny mustard yellow, and maybe even a hint of rusty orange. Don't be afraid to mix and match these colors to create a space that feels layered and visually interesting. But it's not just about the paint on the walls, y'all. One of the hallmarks of boho style is the use of natural materials. Think about incorporating linen curtains that filter the light beautifully, cozy cotton throws draped over the sofa, woven rattan baskets for storage, and maybe even a reclaimed wood coffee table to add a touch of history and character. These natural textures add so much warmth and authenticity to a space. They ground the room and create that lived-in, inviting feel that's essential to boho style. Now, here's a little designer tip. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by color, start with a neutral base, like white or cream for your walls. Then you can bring in those pops of color through your furniture, textiles, and accessories. It's all about finding that balance. Now let's talk furniture. When it comes to boho style, comfort reigns supreme. Forget about those stiff, formal living rooms. We're going for a space that invites you to kick off your shoes, relax, and stay a while. Think about incorporating low seating options like floor cushions, plush poofs, and oversized sofas, where you can really sink in and get comfy. And don't be afraid to mix and match different textures here. A woven rattan chair adds a touch of bohemian flair, while a sturdy wooden coffee table grounds the space. And speaking of grounding, a plush rug is an absolute must-have in any boho living room. When it comes to arranging your furniture, create little conversation nooks that encourage intimacy and connection. Instead of pushing all of your furniture against the walls, try floating a sofa in the center of the room to create a more dynamic and inviting flow. And here's another tip. Don't be afraid to incorporate vintage or thrifted pieces into your design. Those one-of-a-kind finds add so much character and tell a story. Plus, it's a great way to add a sustainable touch to your decor. A vintage rug, a hand-me-down armchair, or even a collection of antique books can become conversation starters and add that unique, eclectic vibe that we love about boho style. Chapter 3. Bringing the outdoors in natural elements and plants. Y'all know I'm a firm believer in bringing the outdoors in, and that's especially true when it comes to creating a boho-inspired space. Plants and natural elements breathe life into a room, purify the air, and add a sense of tranquility. When I think about boho style, I picture lush greenery cascading from shelves, macrame plant hangers swaying gently in the breeze, and maybe even a small herb garden thriving on a sunny windowsill. Some of my favorite houseplants for a boho living room include monsteras with their dramatic leaves, fiddle leaf figs that add a touch of elegance, low-maintenance snake plants, and trailing pothos that bring a sense of movement. But don't stop at just plants. Incorporate other natural elements like branches, stones, or seashells to enhance that connection to nature. Arrange them on your coffee table, mantle, or bookshelves for a touch of organic beauty. Here's a tip. Get creative with your plant containers. Instead of using plain plastic pots, opt for woven baskets, ceramic pots with unique glazes, or even vintage teacups for a touch of whimsy. And don't be afraid to think vertically. Hanging planters and floating shelves with cascading greenery create that quintessential boho look. Chapter 4. Walls that tell a story, wall decor and lighting. Now let's talk about those blank canvases, your walls. In a boho living room, the walls are an opportunity to showcase your personality and create a space that feels curated over time. Gallery walls are a fantastic way to add visual interest and tell your story. Mix and match framed artwork, family photos, vintage prints, and even small mirrors to create a collection that feels personal and eclectic. And don't be afraid to think outside the frame. Woven tapestries add texture and a touch of global inspiration, while macrame wall hangings bring in that handmade bohemian vibe. Lighting is another crucial element in creating a cozy and inviting atmosphere. In a boho living room, we want to move away from harsh overhead lighting and opt for soft, warm light sources that create a sense of intimacy. Rattan pendant lights add a touch of natural texture, while lanterns cast a warm, inviting glow. And of course, you can never go wrong with fairy lights. String them across your mantle, drape them over your curtains, or even weave them into your plant collection for a touch of magic. Here's a tip. When arranging your gallery wall, don't be afraid to play around with different heights and sizes. Start with your largest piece as the focal point and build around it, creating a balanced and visually appealing arrangement. Now that you have all the essential tips and ideas, it's time to bring your boho dream living room to life. Whether you prefer a maximalist, vintage, or modern boho look, the key is to make it feel personal and inviting. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more boho decor ideas. Tell us in the comments, which boho element is your favorite? We'd love to hear from you.